Welcome once again to the latest edition of Shelf Life Book Reviews online. Once again, it's an honor and a privilege to be able to present to you a book that hopefully you might consider purchasing when you go to your local bookstore. I hope you are enjoying my videos. I have over 300 of them now, and if you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so and tell your book-loving friends about my website and my page here. And hopefully we can get a few more subscribers. The book I'm offering to you today is Mushrooming: The Joy of the Quiet Hunt. This is written by Diane Borsato with illustrations by Kelly Oseid. It is published by Douglas and McIntyre, and the book retails for $38.95. I wish my mother was still alive. She loved to photograph mushrooms. She would get down in her hands and knees and she would take pictures of mushrooms. They fascinated her. And I'm sure when you see this book, you'll be fascinated by the fact in it there are over 120 species of mushrooms that are profiled in the book. Not all mushrooms are edible. The author tells us the ones that we must be very careful of. They're poisonous, or they could cause very adverse side effects to any human being or animal eating them. So if you're looking for a book with a difference, Diane Borsato has always been fascinated by mushrooms, and she has a quote in the book, and she says, "I started mushrooming because I was offered a wild chanterelle to eat and afraid of being poisoned. Like many beginning mushroomers, I was first interested in edible fungi, hunting with my stomach, as they say, and proceeded to inform myself about the deadly ones." So the fact that there are, like I said, 120 plus mushrooms profiled in the book with great illustrations, it will tell you how to identify mushrooms. And there are so many in here. It's just absolutely fascinating, the names that some of the mushrooms were given. And I'll just list some of the ones here that are in the book. There's ghost pipe, eyelash fungus, destroying angel, the sickener, death cap, bleeding tooth, Satan's bolet, witch's butter, dog vomit slime mold, dead man's fingers, and honey mushroom, to name just a few. I don't know who names these mushrooms. If there's an official mushroom namer out there saying, "Oh, let's call this one dog's vomit" or something, or dead man's breath, or like, it's just like, okay. But it is absolutely fascinating, and for each one, the author tells us, like I said, how to identify them. If they are edible, how you can include them in your meals. A lot of people love mushrooms. They love them on their pizza. They love them in their pasta, and they just love mushrooms in general. I like mushrooms, but I just like the plain old mushrooms. I don't go for any fancy Dan mushrooms. But the author has been studying mushrooms for a long time, and so she really knows her mushrooms. You can say it's a mushrooming business, and a blossoming mushrooming. But the fact is, if you are fascinated by mushrooms, I remember when my grandparents and mother and I used to go for summer vacation. My mother would always be on the lookout for puffballs, and they are mentioned here. Some of the puffballs are edible. You can cook them up and you can eat them. And I remember eating a couple, and they weren't that bad. But of course, this is going back to the 60s, so the brain sort of, or the memory sort of fades. But I think that I liked them, and like I said, my mother was always on the lookout. When my grandfather was driving, my mother would say, "Oh, look, there's a puffball. Stop the car." So, anyways, I digress. So, like I said, if you're looking for an interesting book with lots of interesting illustrations, I don't know if you can pick that up there, but there are, like I said, 120 plus mushrooms profiled in the book, and the illustrations are very graphic. So I think that if you were out, you would be able to identify them thanks to the great illustrations by Kelly Oseid. So that's the book I wanted to draw to your attention. Mushrooming, the joy of the quiet hunt. So if you're a mushroom fan, go for it. Or if you love to eat mushrooms, this is just a fascinating reference guide. So let me know if you agree with my review. So thank you for watching. Until we meet again, stay safe, stay sane, stay in touch, and I'll see you at the bookstore. Bye-bye for now.